Rather eye-opening moment from President Trump yesterday at a press briefing when he was asked about whether he would commit to a peaceful transfer of power. Let's take a listen.
Right here, Mr. President, real quickly, win, lose, or draw in this election, will you commit here today for a peaceful transferal of power after the election? And there has been rioting in Louisville, there's been rioting in many cities across this country, red and your so-called red and blue states. Will you commit to making sure that there is a peaceful transferal of power after the election?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens. You know that I've been complaining very strongly about the ballots, and the ballots are a disaster.
I understand that, but people are rioting. Do you commit to making sure that there's a peaceful transferal of power?
We want to get rid of the ballots, and we'll have a very peaceful. There won't be a transfer, frankly. There'll be a continuation. The ballots are out of control. You know it. And you know who knows it better than anybody else? The Democrats know it better than anybody else. Go ahead.
And that right there is basically my fear about how Election Day is going to go down, because I'm not of the camp that believes that Trump will actually try to foment a coup and that the military will have to remove him from office. I mean, Biden and others really genuinely think that. And when he says things like this, it gives credence to those sorts of views.
This is all over MSNBC today.
Of course, yes. But what scares me is when you have such a fraught, heightened, fiery political environment, deeply divided, deeply tribal, where not only do people hate and mistrust the elites on the other partisan side of the aisle, but there is deep ugliness and mistrust amongst the citizens themselves. It doesn't take President Trump actually trying to foment a coup in order to create a lot of ugly unrest and a potential post-election meltdown. And so you just know, you just know that he is never going to be able to say the thing to calm the country. He's constitutionally incapable of doing it. So, I'm very much more of the kind of Matt Taibbi school of thought that it's more useful to think of him in the context of professional wrestling entertainer who loves to stoke division for the crowd and loves to just create cliffhangers and tension and whatever versus the sort of he's a unique evil Hitler type figure. I'm much more of the Matt Taibbi school of thought. But the reality is when you're the president and you have a lot of people who are really looking to you for direction in what to do next and how to handle all of this, this sort of thing is very troubling.
Yeah, no. And look, all you had to say is the Democrats are trying to steal the election. We're not going to let them. We've got our own lawyers. And if at the end of the day, if every ballot is counted fairly, I'll leave. It's
just
so
say,
hard.
I believe in peaceful transfer of power, but we're not going to lose.
Which is,
right?
I do think there are these weird Democratic, the Transition Integrity Project and all these other people which are gaming out scenarios. That's the real thing, too, is I actually think there's derangement on both sides. You have elite liberals are actually planning and it's like they want a civil war or something like that. They're we must prepare. Mattis can go in and the generals and you're hey, this is crazy. And in order not to feed the crazy beast and give them, because they're raising millions of dollars convincing boomer wine moms out there that this stuff is real, and Trump does himself no favors whenever he says things like this. It should just be about bringing the temperature down and being I will leave. If the Democrats are trying to steal the election, Hillary's out there saying don't accept the results. After all of that, if we count the ballots and I lose fair and square, then so be it. Is it so hard?
Yes, for him, he will never, ever, ever say those words.
Yeah.
And that's what's so scary. And all the incentives all the way around in our politics is to escalate, to paint your opponent and, the potential election outcome not going your way as the literal end of the country. And both of these campaigns are doing that. Both of them, from Trump, it's they're going to indoctrinate your children and this is the end of America and that's it. It's over for you. And on the Democratic side, obviously, he's they see him as literally Hitler. And so that's what continues to make me so nervous about all of this. Forget whoever even wins Election Day. Do we survive the weeks to come after Election Day, especially if there's some kind of an uncertain result? And it creates an opening for him to say things like this and gin up the Kyle Rittenhouses of the world to get out there. I mean, we've already, look, in Louisville last night, we had ugly clashes on the street. This is happening in America already with such an incredibly tense, fraught election with two sides, the core base of which feel that the stakes are literally life or death, existential. It creates an incredibly volatile and potentially combustible situation.
Yeah, I think that's right, which is that it's incumbent, I think, on everybody to just say, take it down a little bit. This doesn't help. And the political incentive is not actually towards that. The political incentive is to what he's saying.
Up.
And same with Biden and the MSNBC. This is the greatest thing that ever happened to MSNBC. And we should understand that, which is that they love these fantasy scenarios and the Civil War is coming and all this other stuff. It's not good, Krystal. It's not good at all.
Not at all. Tomorrow on Rising, we're going to take a look at the state of the race in Georgia with political reporter for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I don't know why I have trouble saying that. Greg Bluestein. Friday panel is back with Democratic strategist Jennifer Holdsworth, the senior policy analyst at the Independent Women's Forum, Inez Stepman.
Remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos. Don't forget to like and share as well. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Have a great day, guys. Appreciate you all.